Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are going to be taking a detailed look at what every single control does on Baby Audio's Comeback Kid. So this is an absolutely superb delay. It's brilliant. It's just classic. An ideal delay for pretty much anything you want. It just does really, really good delays. In fact, it does its job really well. But it does have some very cool tricks. So let's go from kind of the shaper section here. So I have got, let's put this in, it's in. So I'm taking out, this is the sound. Super clean piano sound. So you can hear exactly what this delay is doing to any kind of signal you want to put through it, right? Now, I would also suggest before you do anything is put a limiter on the channel you're using the delay on. You should put a limiter on anything, really. I've got my limiter set, I think it's -5 something. There you go, -5 dB. This is because the shaper section here, the attack and sustain, can get very loud, okay? So you want to be careful of what you're doing with that, but you'll hear exactly what I mean. This is actually a unique feature. I don't know of any other delay that has a transient shaper on the actual delay tail. So let's put the delay in. At the moment, we're on 1/4. So this is basically your just default preset. You turn it on. This is what you kind of get. 1/4 straight. Time is set about there. 1/4. And feedback is set at 50%. Let's just hit one note. Very cool. So, I mean, it's just a lovely delay. This is the kind of thing you need all the time, if you just want a delay on something, you know. But it does have some very cool tricks up its sleeve. Right. Okay, so low cut. Let's turn the feedback up quite high. So about there. So we're on about 75% here. Let's push the low cut up. So now you get into really cool kind of dub delay territory. And of course, okay, double tap that to reset it to its default, which is 40 Hertz. And let's look at the high cut. So obviously it works in the other direction. So let's play a single note. We're back to our 1/4 straight with the feedback at 75%. Let's drop the high cut down. Very cool. Let's double tap to reset this. Now, let's look at the actual, the shaper section. This is the for your transient attack and sustain. So I'll play one note. Let's take this feedback down to about there. Let's turn the sustain all the way up. Hear this? Let's take the sustain all the way down. Okay, let's double tap that to reset it. Let's take the attack all the way up. Hear that now? It's picking out the transients for the attack of the delay. And then all the way down. Sustain halfway up now, and you get this kind of and this is, if we have the attack and the sustain all the way up, this is where you can get kind of harsh. We would be clipping there if I didn't have the limiter on it. So let's reset these to their default, which is 0. So you have bipolarity on both the attack and the sustain, so negative and plus and negative. Okay, so let's look at the stereo section, right? Where it says ping pong, this will, if we switch it on, will ping pong our delays left and right, regardless, right? So, okay, so if we sum this now to mono, so I'm just going to play some chords. If you listen very carefully through headphones, once I switch mono on, this signal will be summed to mono. Okay? The piano will still be stereo, of course, but the delays after that will be then summed to mono. So you get the idea, switch mono off. Now, we're back to a stereo delay, but with no ping pong. Wider, excuse me, got some stuff now. Widen your delays through left and right time variations. So let's push it up 100%. Let's turn the feedback up so we can hear what's going on. You hear this? It's just widening that stereo delay. But it's not mono, okay? That's mono. This is the stereo fill. Richer, what does it say about richer? Adds dimension to your delays through left and right pitch variations. So, like chorusing. So that's at its most extreme. So kind of halfway. And then at 0. You don't get any of that kind of thing. So if we have richer and wider turned up full, you'll get a really nice wide kind of chorusing effect on your delays. Okay, let's set them back to the default, which is 0. Panning takes your signal and pushes it either left or right, obviously. Okay, and of course, we can go all the way to the left. You can actually take all the way to the left and just have... But imagine this, you put another comeback kid in a slot below, and then you can set up your panning for each one slightly separately and get some interesting effects with that as well. Okay, now let's look at the feedback. Low cut is where it is, and high cut is where it is. Everything is kind of set to its default position. Let's turn the feedback up full and just hit one note. Now the question is here, will it self-oscillate? Yes, it will. So again, be careful when you push the feedback amount all the way up. But if we have on, say, something like 84, we can start to build up interesting textured layers using the delay. So for example, if I just play a couple of notes here and there. So could build up some really nice guitar harmonies. I mean, Colin would be able to do that really well because he understands harmony on guitars. So you could use it to do the same type of thing that Brian May does with, is it Brighton Rock Live? Or used to do, I don't know if they still do that. Now, well, of course, he used a ping pong as well, so that would be really cool. So you could. Okay. Also, as well, interesting is having a high feedback amount and then using the high cut. But be careful, like I said, with very high feedback rates. It will start to self-oscillate, and you really don't want that, especially if you're not in control of the signal. Right. Then we have your standard. This is straight, 1/4 straight, 1/4 dotted. So again, let's just start with straight, dotted, triplets, and then free. To have a high feedback. Some very interesting effects you can achieve with this as well. If you're interested in modulating any of your parameters, they're all available to modulate. Well, they are in AUM, so I imagine anything else that allows you to access the parameters will be modulatable too. Okay, let's go back to a dotted. One of my favorite delays for synthesizers is dotted 8. So right, okay. So you get the idea there. We can leave it on straight. So dotted, sorry, I had it on the wrong one. Listen, this sounds really cool with synths. Anything kind of use sequence. Now, also with long feedbacks, right, so you're getting a lot going on. If you turn the sustain up, you can get some really interesting effects going on. Okay, let's take that back down to about there. Let's look at the flavor. So the cheap button will degrade your delays with a custom 11-bit signal path modeled after vintage digital units, it says here. So this is quite a subtle. Let's turn the high cut up. This is quite a subtle effect, so I don't even know if you'll hear it. Let's give it some feedback. So, and let's put a little bit more of the wet in. You can hear it, right? So let's turn the wet up higher, turn the dry down. Okay. So tape, he says you can warm up your delays with an analog tape saturation. This is really good. Let's take it off the, let's put it back onto the, let's take the 11-bit degradation off, put it back, turn cheap off, and let's increase our tape section and the flavor. So it's not degrading the actual signal that first hits the delay. You can, of course, if we take the dry signal out and I play some keys, there will be a slight delay, obviously, because it's a delay, but you'll hear the tape effect better. So there you go. Okay, so that's your tape saturation. Swirl adds like a phasing. What does it say here about the swirl? Add movement to your delays with an analog modeled phasing effect. Right, so. And I think regardless of the speed, the swirl is kind of set at a set speed. But it's really nice. Okay. Let's turn it off. Source is like a reverb. What does it say? Add space to your delays with a touch of algorithmic reverb. Don't forget, you're just adding the reverb to the actual delay. Now, let's get on to this last section here, which is also very interesting. This is useful, right? So, Destiny, leave your delays to Destiny by enabling a subtle randomization algorithm. So I guess it's going to randomize different things like slight variations in time, feedback, maybe everything else. I don't know. Let's see. Let's turn the feedback up and strike a couple of chords. Yeah, I guess it's subtle because otherwise it would be overbearing. I mean, you wouldn't really hear it, would you? But if it's less clinical, if you know what I mean, it's less digital because this is based on an analog tape machine. Right, okay. Another very, very useful feature in Comeback Kid is the ducker. Now, there are some other delays that have duckers in, but they're super handy to have because, for example, look, if we turn the feedback up and just start to play quite a lot of notes at the same time, everything starts to kind of pile up on top of each other. And everything starts to get a little bit muddy. However, if we apply a little bit of ducking, so the ducker, lower your delays when the dry signal is playing for the cleaner, more modern sound. And if the ducker is on 100%, if I'm still playing, you'll hear no delays till I stop, and then it kind of fades in, which is very cool. But that's, you're getting into the realms of special effects. If we turn it down to, say, something more sensible, like 45%. Maybe take the wet down a little bit and then maybe push the width up, make it a little bit richer. Apply some high cut because it's quite nice. A little bit of attack, a little bit of sustain, some swirl. Let's have the 11-bit degradation switched on. Bit of the old reverb. A little bit further with the ducking. You dial it in until you get what you're looking for, sort of thing. Something like that. Very nice. Anyway, guys, there you go. That's it. That's all you need to know. You have a very healthy amount of presets to play around with. You can change the color from this dark color to light. I prefer the dark color. I can see things better with the dark. It's incredibly useful delay. If you're just looking for something that you can make it sound like a delay, tape delay, you can make it sound digital. You have some really nice features, nothing complicated. All hands on control. Lovely. So a really good general purpose delay with some nice extra features thrown in. Awesome stuff. I can see myself using this all the time because a lot of the time I just want a bit of delay, and this is perfect for that. I've got complete control over everything. Anyway, top job, cool beans. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon, and I will see you guys later. Ta-ra.